Welcome in, LSU fans, to another edition of The Crowded Booth, and we're talking with Blake Ruffino of AYS Sports. Blake, we missed you last week, and LSU lost. I don't think that's the reason that they lost, but we're glad to have you back.
100% is the reason. It's 100% the reason they lost.
We're
But
going
see,
to
here's
just
the
cling to
problem.
that.
Kelly haters, right? BK haters right now. If I come on this week and we win, they're going to boycott that I don't need to come on here. I mean, that's the feel that I get, right?
Yeah, it's an extreme time down here in Baton Rouge, there for sure. LSU plays Texas A&M this week. We're going to talk a little bit about this game, but man, I've got to start off with just your thoughts coming out of the Vanderbilt game. Brian Kelly's comments post game. Brian Kelly's comments on Monday. I was at the press conference. I know you heard. Blake, I asked the first question, and it wasn't even really answered in terms of this.
No, it wasn't.
Where on the spectrum are you right now with Brian Kelly in terms of, we see it on social media, we see it on our message boards. You're either, there's not a lot of lukewarm right now with Brian Kelly. Where do you sit with this whole situation?
Where I personally sit is I feel like it's twofold. Now, number one, I'm a realist in thinking that I don't think you beat A&M this weekend. I don't think you beat Bama. I don't think you beat Oklahoma. Now, I do think of all three of those games, the best one that you could win would be this weekend versus A&M because it's at home, it's at night, yada, 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 yada. I don't even know if you can score enough to beat Arkansas. So when I look at this entire situation, as someone just an LSU guy, but then looks at it nationally, and we're talking about A&M and Arkansas on Sunday, and I'm like, to my co-host Joe, I'm like, hey man, Arkansas stinks, but they scored 42 points. Yeah. So it gets to against a really good A&M team. So it gets to a point where I don't think that you're walking out of this at this point without two losses based off of what we've seen from LSU. However, there's the other part of this. I literally saw a team that got two losses and then rattled off and went 4-1, and everybody thought at the end of the year, last year, that they should be a playoff team, and that was South Carolina. Well, what happened? Lenore Sellers stunk. He came back after another bye week and went nuclear. Yeah. Now, Gary Nussmeier's not doing that, Bryce. It's not happening. So that's a completely different scenario and situation. Could it happen? Yes. Do I personally think it's going to? No. All right. So since I don't think that that's going to happen, what did you call me? You called me spoiled. You said this was the most talented team that you've coached at LSU. You have said so many, keeping receipts, seeing the national title, and you have a media member that's been here since 1942 and Buddy Sanji making T-shirts about it. You got like so many different things that are happening that you said you can't say that here. I do feel like maybe there's a sense of I'm not saying that he thinks that Louisiana people are simple-minded, but you can't tell people here that after three straight coaches won national titles and then lose. So I think that his seat's really warm. I heard on Tuesday that it was the longest practice of the Brian Kelly tenure, that they went, I don't know if I could say this on your show, but they went balls to the wall. I heard that things were absolutely insane and that he was feeling it, and it was the most intense that he's been. Well, then that tells me that he's feeling the pressure. So, Bryce, do I think he should be fired? I'm not there, because you still have that chance. You start getting another season after you told this fan base, I need money, you haven't been helping me, and we gave you $18 million and you went 8-4 again. Well, then you're going to have to start answering the piper, because it's not the money. It's not the place. You spent the most money in the portal, and, I would even accept 9-3 and just say, hey, look at what happened with Ole Miss. But you might not get there. And I think that would be where I'm just like, look, man, this isn't in a good spot.
Okay, so to your point, you said this. We'll play the hypothetical in the fact that you 7-5, 8-4, whatever you want to call it. I'll say 7-5 because I think that right now is my most feasible path. Mm-hmm. So you're 7-5. You're only beating Western Kentucky and Arkansas the rest of the way. You're going to play in a bowl game that nobody cares about. And when I say that nobody cares about, like legitimately maybe a right around Christmas time type of bowl game. Like we're talking about one that not a lot of people care about.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are. Austin Thomas has to go back to the drawing board. He's got to go back into the big money pockets and ask for it again. Here is, I guess, my pushback against the donors and the fans. You either pony up and you pay the $53 million, or you've got to do this again, because if not, 2026 is a lost season. I understand you might be pissed you didn't do what you need to do this year, but if you don't give them the money to do it this year, or now I should say for next year, what's the point of keeping him?
And Bryce, what are you really saving? You're saving $9 million? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, because as soon as December the 1st hits, that $53 million doesn't go to $53 million. It goes to $41.9 million. So you want to save $10 million? I mean, you're going to pony it up either way. I got to be real with you. I don't think money's a problem here. Everybody looks at $53 million or $60 million, was what you'd probably be totaling, and say that we can't spend that. You can't afford not to if this thing goes south. Because then you're going to – Bryce, I think you're going to get purged. I think that people are going to leave. Ashton Stamps left today. So, I mean, like, or yesterday, whenever it was. So, I mean, then now what? Now what? So you're in a situation where, okay, so if next season's a wasted season, then you're firing him after that one anyway. And because you're just going to say that, well, $40 million, we got to pay it. That's the new age of college football. Better go get a loan. Better go get a loan, because you can't do that. And listen, I know the Heat's turned up and they haven't lost against A&M yet. So Bryce, what happens if they win this weekend and have a whole 2 weeks and then go into Bama? Then the whole narrative shifts, and then when he loses to Bama, then the narrative shifts right back. You're going to have to be ready to roll. And so that's the point of, like, what I'm saying is, I don't think it's black and white, and I think things are always moving. But if you're going to do it, you better do it now. Because what does Austin do? Bryce, I'm already hearing things that people are – why do people want to give money? People aren't going to give that level of money. They're not going to do that. So, I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Might as well clean slate. The only thing that I could think that they could do with BK would be fire the entire staff offensively, and I mean the entire staff offensively, and say we're going to rework it, and we hit it with Baker. We're going to give this one last shot and see where it goes. But then where do you go get the money to get a quarterback, to get offensive linemen, to get receivers? Then
you got to go get more than you got this past year.
So, I mean, you better be elite at evaluating.
Yeah, I just can't get past, and I've been thinking about this all week, because Blake, us in the media, we got to be careful. We can't be fake. You know what I mean? We can't be that. That cannot be allowed for us to be fake out there.
And if you don't say fire BK, they call you fake right now, and I'm like, you're 5-2.
You're 5-2. Yeah, I just have a problem. This is my line of thought. If you fire a head coach before he reaches 5 games the following season, it's probably a telling sign you should have fired him in the previous offseason.
I agree.
So if let's just play that, because we don't know what those teams are going to look like next year, because there's how many variables there are with it. But man, say you lose to Clemson week 1 next year, you drop one of those early SEC games. Let's say you have 3 losses before Halloween. Why? What? I guess that number, that $10 million that you would save, that's the number we need to be looking at, not this big gross $50, $60 million or whatever. To me, is it worth you punting on 2026? Because if you're not going to raise the money, if you can't raise the money for that, or you're not willing, whatever you want to call it, 2026 is a lost year, Blake, unless we just see some crazy in-house development, which I do not have faith in that. So I just don't necessarily understand the concept of we can't fire him this year. Because, well, you can, and if you're going to do it 6 or 7 games in the season, heck, if you're going to do it after next season, why not do it now and give somebody another chance rather than just going into a lame duck year? That's what I would call it, a lame duck year, in my opinion.
Well, it's just LSU fans would tell you, Bryce, it's Les Miles all over again. Governor doesn't let you fire him. It gets very political. But here's another thing I'd throw at you. which does throw a massive wrench into this. You do not have a university president.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to the governor for this. And I don't know if a governor understands, or you can get him to understand what you're going to have to do here. Or if you hire a president in November and say, listen, I get it, you're getting hired, but the first business of order is, are you going to let us or allow us to write this check? Now, I don't know how to say this other than saying it, but Pete Nakos, came out yesterday and you work with Pete, and he was like, there was a thought from Florida State people to go inside an endowment at Florida State as an example and just wipe this whole board out. Then you really set a precedent. So if that does happen, then Bryce, Penn State did it. What's the excuses? That man was in the Final Four last year. A
couple plays away from a national title game. It's
right. Literally a play with Nick Singleton from playing for a national title. So I look, man, it's a new age and new era. But people aren't going to give you this is the problem. People aren't going to give you money for players if you don't do it.
The only way you're competitive next year, Blake, is if we know people want blood, right? They want the head on the stick, and they want to show it to you. Is if you fire this entire offensive staff, like you said, and bring in a whole new group and say, this is it. No matter what, you win, you make the playoff, whatever you need to do. Because without that, in my opinion, if you don't fire the whole offensive staff, why should we expect anything different?
The only person that I think would be safe would be Frank Wilson.
Fair, yeah.
But I be blunt with you, I didn't even think about. I'm not putting him in there. But I don't know if you are either. But
no, I'm not. I'm talking
right.
Hankton, Davis.
Right.
Everyone but running backs coach, and maybe Atkins. I don't know. I don't know what the how much is Atkins really responsible for this?
Well, you might be able to make him your offensive line coach. I don't even know. But you better find a material situation here where OC and quarterback come.
Look, people make fun of Oklahoma fans for being hyped and excited about it, but look where they are.
Right. You're right. You better find that situation somewhere. What's Andy Kotelnicki doing? He's about to get a massive buyout. So you could even reduce and pay him $500,000 because he's about to get $2.5-3 million in a buyout from Penn State unless a new head coach keeps him. So there are ways around this if you do it. I think the only option at this point, if let's just say hypothetically you lose on Saturday, everybody's gone. I'm ripping the Band-Aid right off. It's Bryce. Here's the thing: there's two teams in Power 4 football that haven't scored offensively over 25 points against another people.
I'm going to throw up,
and it's you and North Carolina.
God.
By the way, look, that is what it is there. Okay, so analysts are going to make it worse. I'm sorry, but it's not. Give me a week to find out all the plays, and you know what we do? We would score 20 points. People, you're not okay. BK basically told you 2 weeks ago that Joe Sloan's not calling run plays. And what happened the last 2 weeks? Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Mr. Bryce. You're running the ball for 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And I think you got – look, I'm going to be – I was blunt last night. I'm going to be blunt again right here with you. I think A&M's biggest weakness is a quarterback that can run. I'm sitting 18 on the bench this week. Mm-hmm. I know that's not going to make a lot of friends, but it's the truth. You got a former national title winner that's out here posting videos on Twitter saying he's not even looking at the right safety and right coverages. I know I've been saying it for 2 years, but I'm not a national title winner outside of playing college football 26. That's the only time I win national titles. So yeah. I sit there and say he makes bad decisions. You have a lame duck offensive coordinator. Why not shake everything up?
Well, what do you lose by doing it?
You don't. Maybe the only thing that I can think would be that they think mentally Garrett doesn't recover from that. It hurts his draft status. that would be the only thing. But here's the truth. Other quarterbacks have literally been benched in their senior year and got drafted. Wait, who's the best quarterback of all time? Tom Brady got benched literally for a freshman quarterback and literally won 7 Super Bowls, whatever it was. Yeah. I mean, you got to do what's best for your team, because I got to be real with you. When I look on the sidelines and I see missed throws and I'm thinking, and look, I sit right here and watch the game. They're pissed off every week. And why you're not making decisions, why you're not doing it, is it because you all have the same agent? I mean, look, I didn't do a Netflix documentary and see that. Y'all did it. Y'all allowed that to be in there. You gave me that information. Okay, sounds good. Then why aren't you making the move? And everything's up for grabs here. Everything's up for what's not working. We gave you $18 million. Sounds good. Go win, and you're not.
I think it's fair to say, you've said this kind of, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'll say this. Up until this point, I don't feel like you've exhausted all options to win a football game. I don't think you have. And that includes, and look, the backup quarterback is always the most popular person. The guy holding the clipboard, I understand that. You have to utilize that on Saturday.
Have to.
I mean, if you're not going to utilize it in between the 25 and the 25, God, utilize it in the red zone. I mean, please, Jesus.
You're 135th out of 134 teams. Because
it can't be worse mathematically.
Mathematically, there is a FCS team that would rank ahead of you in this, okay, against P4 opponents. You are running the ball for less than 1.5 yards per carry in the red zone. 1.1 yards per carry. I mean, it can't get any. No, literally, it can't. So you're going to have to find a solution here. Do I think you've done some good things inside the 20s and running the football? Sure. But you will shoot yourselves in the foot because you want to rotate a receiver in, not named Barry and Brown with Aaron Anderson. It's not one person, it's a collective. But somebody's got to give this team a spark. Does Van Buren want a red shirt? Okay, then say that. Say it. Because quite frankly, there's nothing else that you can tell me that, Bryce, you do this every day. I see and view all your content and what you and Shay and Matthew and everybody does. Love it. I also see the people and the comments that they put on your shit. I saw what you asked during a press conference. And what did they say? I don't believe a word he's saying.
Yeah.
It's what I don't believe a word he's saying. Okay. Well, then you better change something up. You better start making decisions that, quite frankly, you should have made probably should have made last offseason, to be honest with you.
Blake, I don't know at this point if it's like this political game that you're playing to make sure everyone's happy on the offensive side of the football. No one's happy, and no one should be happy regardless. And there's just some key components. I understand we're in a new age of college football. We've got a lot of different things that we sit here and we talk about. The biggest thing to me, though, man, is like you can't coach and fear the transfer portal. Like your job is to go win a football game. And like I'll be brutally honest about this, because if Garrett Nussmeier is so mentally weak that he can't handle the reality of the way that he has played, and I get it, he's played better recently, okay, then you don't need him to be your quarterback anyways. Like you can't have that at that position. And I'll just say this too, and I've kind of said this privately to other media members, like I have nothing against any of these kids personally, but good luck at the next level doing that. Like good luck.
Oh.
Like good luck handling yourself in that manner at the next level. Unless you head down I-10 to where your dad's coaching, good luck. Like I know that's pretty brutal. People don't love to hear that, but I just, in general, like this whole mentally weak, we don't want to hurt Garrett Nussmeier's feelings if we put in Michael Van Buren. Like Brian Kelly answered this. I guess it was maybe in bye week. He pretty much said, I'm not taking Garrett Nussmeier out on goal-to-go situations.
Mm-hmm.
So statistically, there's no reason you shouldn't try anything else. That doesn't even make any sense. So what does it tell you? They think that he's fragile. If he's fragile, he can't be your quarterback. Like anybody. I don't care how much you've paid them. You can't do that. The point is to win football games. You can't win football games with that type of mentality. He's been better. I'm not trying to come down on the kid so hard, but it's like you can't have that.
Well, here's the thing. People will box score watch that. Okay, well, then you have a national title quarterback that's saying he missed 19 throws. He didn't have
lean to him. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't believe Blake Ruffino, don't believe Bryce Koon, believe another right now media member that played in the NFL, that broke a record for the Packers, and that won you a national championship. I know I've been saying it, but it doesn't matter what I say based off of all of that. Bryce, the truth of the matter is he's got to sit. You're missing way too much offensively. Like, listen, everybody wants to blame the offensive line, Weston Davis, DJ Chester. You should. They're not perfect. They're not even really good. They're not even really average. They're below average right now.
Yeah.
Explain to me 6 yards a carry. By the way, the number 12 defense in rushing statistically, is Vanderbilt. They went up against Bama. They've gone up. I mean, look, brother, we're in week 9.
Yeah, it's not a fluke.
At this exact moment, it might not be a fluke. So explain that to me. The 2 touchdowns that you threw are 2, quite honestly, busted plays that were ran wrong. Tre'Davious Green says, I was running just because in a press conference yesterday, and I saw the ball thrown in my literal direction. It's a broken play on 2 of them that gave you 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and hats off to Xavier Thomas for making something out of nothing.
Hats off. But it also comes down to a point where I don't know, and look, I know I've been killed on my board. I've been killed on droppings. I've been killed everywhere in reference to something that I guess I quote-unquote accidentally reported. I don't know if you put in the work. When I watch Ty Simpson play versus I watch Garrett Nussmeier, one dude's the most prepared quarterback in the country, the other's not. Because athletically, Bryce, I don't think that they're far off.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. See,
she's letting me know.
Listen, as someone and your daughter who has been picking almost damn near perfect every week, she knows ball. So she heard the comment and she was like, he's right. So, I mean, listen, there are problems. He's not the only one. He doesn't have a great OC. He doesn't have a lot of things. But I also remember, to the point here, Brian Kelly walked to a podium after Auburn in 2022 and said that they're having discussions on Bitch and Jaden for far less. You went to a microphone and a Heisman Trophy level quarterback that won the SEC West almost got benched for far less than what we're seeing offensively right now.
So what does that tell me? And this is just pure speculation. It tells me that we've been talking for 3 years about how Nuss has stayed and he's loyal, and you've built this narrative and your ego can't take it. You can't admit we put our eggs in the wrong basket.
Kirby,
that's what it means to me.
Away from a kid who's a play away from winning an SEC title for him back-to-back years. Back-to-back years, Carson Beck led you to the SEC title, and when that kid walked in Kirby's office and said, "I want more money," he said, "Gunnar Stockton's more mentally tough than you anyway. See ya."
Working out pretty well for him.
It's working out pretty damn well for the SEC Player of the Week. Yeah. Look, people don't want to hear this stuff and don't want the Band-Aid ripped off. It's never been about it's never been about a take. What is actually going on? You can't run the football. You don't have good concepts from the wide receivers. Bryce, you literally have 9 RPOs that I counted. I thought Garrett made some good decisions here and there. That he's throwing not to numbers. Why is Bauer Sharp playing? Is it because of money? Why is he playing? I mean, he constantly is missing open blocks on screens. Why? There's only 2 guys to block. You're not supposed to be blocking the same guy. All right, well, if Tre'Davious has got him, then I'm going to go to the outside guy. It's those level of things that drive me insane that aren't going to change. Bryce, the only way they make it through this is to run the table.
Yeah. And I agree. I agree. Let's talk real quickly about this A&M game because that's where it has to start, right? I mean, it has to start here on Saturday night. Listen, Blake, I am, LSU fans kind of got raked over the coals 2 weeks ago when they played South Carolina. I know you probably saw some of the stuff on social media, the lack of environment, the, maybe even, a little bit of apathy is setting in terms of the LSU fan base. This is an opportunity to where I have to ask myself, and I was talking with some A&M people today. I was on a show with them today and talking about this. I have such little faith in this offense and this team. I don't know if the mystique of Tiger Stadium and Death Valley can bail you out of this.
I agree.
I don't know if it can. If the weather is going to be, and I don't know what it is as of right now with us talking, we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon, but if the weather is going to be as bad as they say it is, hey, A&M's one of the best rushing teams in the SEC and one of the best in the country. So that's concerning. They can do it.
You're not.
Yeah, and you're not. So I'm not going to ask you keys. People can tune into your show for that. And I'm not going to ask you, how do they win this game? Blake, I mean, do you think they can? I mean, that's like emotions aside, because I think emotionally a lot of LSU people are saying they can do it. Because there's been a couple times this week I'm like, maybe they do it. But, man, everything numbered, like this is going to have to go a complete 180 in what we've seen for them to win this football game.
Yeah, they're going to have to replicate, in my opinion, I'll give you a key. They're going to have to replicate exactly what Auburn did with a former player from LSU and Xavier Atkins.
Be careful talking about Xavier Atkins, by the way.
No, I'm not going to. They can come after me. People already say I moan when I eat and shit, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't get worse than moaning when you eat, I guess.
That's fair.
It just gets to a place where they spied him.
Yeah.
They said 17. You got Marcel Reed no matter what. And listen, DJ Durkin has had 5 straight years as a DC. He's never had a defensive unit below 25 total defense. Hasn't happened.
Elite, dude.
He is elite at what he does. All right, so what did they do? They played man-to-man coverage on the outside, and they said, we're going to get beaten moments and times, and that's okay. But what we're not going to do is let you run the football and let Marcel Reed run the football. You're going to hit big plays. You have big play wide receivers. Yeah. We aren't going to let you run the football, and we're going to get you in third down. Bryce, they're 72nd in third down efficiency rate offensively. The second to last worst quarterback in the SEC, 15 out of 16 quarterbacks, Marcel Reed on accuracy on third down is 15th. Let's get him to third down. I think that there are ways when you got Jamari Butler probably back this week. I think he'll be back this week. What is Bernard Gooden's status? I think that you can get after him. Perkins has got to start playing we ball instead of me ball. That's number one. And tell him, listen, you got 10, and you better not do what you did a week ago. Now, Bryce, I'm old enough to remember that last year that they benched a pocket quarterback at A&M for a guy that was mobile and won. Anything can happen here. I think it starts with you containing number 10 and saying, beat us by throwing the ball constantly deep. And I have faith in Mansour Delane. I have faith in DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland. They're going to get beat.
Yeah.
Let somebody show me that they can beat Mansour Delane one-on-one multiple times before I say that it's going to happen. So I think that there's ways that they can do it. I still don't think that, though, if A&M gets over 24 points, it's over. So as soon as that clip is hit, it's over. And I think that they get there. I don't know, Bryce, offensively. Other than just giving Harlan Berry the ball more and keep running the football, I think they got to take away they got to limit the decision-making of Garrett. I think you got to give him 2 options and tell him to go or throw the ball away, and then just play old school West Coast, run the ball for 3 yards and throw a slant hitch, something short, get Trey'Dez Green involved, and methodically move the ball down the field. And, Bryce, I don't know if LSU is going to be packed this week. The ticket sales numbers are down. It's going to be rainy. I don't really know the status of what's going to be happening here. So is there a way? Yes. Is A&M going to have to play their B- game, in my opinion? Also, yes.
Yeah. I'll give you one key, and it's something we haven't seen these receivers do yet. They're going to have to win some one-on-one battles.
No doubt.
They're going to have to make some guys miss after the catch, because you're already talking about an offensive line, and I might, honest to God, be the most vocal, myself and Bruni, on how we can't stand this offensive line. So apologies to the big fellas out there in the world. But you're going to have to play a quick passing game already. Berrien, Xavion, Aaron. I'm not throwing anybody else out there, truthfully, but you got to go make some guys miss. And I know that's probably unfair on you, but that's what you got to do. You're going to have some explosive plays that are really the depth of target or the depth of throw is 3 to 4 yards, but you're getting 12, 15, 20 yards off those plays. If that doesn't happen, if A&M can keep you in front of them and make you go the length of the football field, I don't think you can do. I don't think you can sustain. Here we go. Here's maybe what does our friend Pate call them? Padlock stats. What's he call them?
He calls them. Hold on. Do you hear that paper?
The paper pop. There you go. I'm going to go with if LSU has 3+ drives of 70 yards or more in this game, I think they win. I don't think that they can do it though.
No, because that means that they'd be 3-3 in the red zone, which they're not.
we don't have enough time in the day to talk about that.
They're not doing. Yeah. I mean, listen. It's Wednesday. I know probably as this airs, Ruffino and Joe's already aired. I am picking I'm picking A&M, man. I don't trust them.
Yeah, it's fair. No, that's fair. It's fair. I mean, you're a hater. We know that, but that's fair. So,
yeah, I'm a massive hater. I mean, I guess I've been a massive.
You dedicate your entire life to this, but you hate it.
Yeah, I hate them. My entire family's life is dependent on them winning, and they're not winning. And I didn't call for the head coach to be fired. And I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think that they have enough. As good as they've been defensively, and look, I'm giving the defensive mulligan. I mean, I really am. I mean, you're allowed to have a bad game. Newsflash to everybody: you're allowed to have a bad game. Ask Georgia. I mean, here's a good one. Ask Ohio State, the national champion of last year, who got their pushed in multiple times throughout that season. You're allowed to have bad games. What you're not allowed is to constantly keep playing non-complimentary football and losing. But you're right. You're 1,000% right. If this wide receiver room can't catch the ball, and this is a whole nother thing. You went to Berrien and literally were putting a drive together. He had 4 catches in the opening drive, and then you didn't target him but one time after that. Can someone explain that to me?
He probably wants to know why. That's why he's getting into a back and forth with Kelly headed to the sideline.
At 1,000%. Yeah. Then you're mad at him because he got punched along the sideline and he pushes somebody back. You're taking the scrap away from him. I mean, with all due respect, I heard a coach in the SEC literally a month ago tell me that he wants a guy that will commit a couple of misdemeanors before he goes and plays defense for him. So, I mean, I don't mean that the wrong way, but we want dogs. I mean, you got to be a dog in this league to win it. And I don't know. Here's the thing. We talk about all these coaches. Jake Flint, where's the mentality of this team? It's on you to have the mentality of this team, and you haven't done it. They don't respect you, brother. They don't. So I'm going to pick A&M to win, obviously, to cover. I think this one might get a little ugly in the fourth.
Yeah, that's where I said I think A&M pulls away. I think LSU's going to hang around. The vibes of Tiger Stadium help them out. About that midway through the third, this has a lot of feeling of me, by the way, 2 years ago in Tuscaloosa, where you hung around, Daniels gets knocked out of the game. You kind of have a drive in the fourth where you could get back into it. You really can't, and it's over from there, double-digit loss.
Yep.
That's where I kind of think this thing sits. Blake Ruffino of AYS Sports. He does the Ruffino and Joe show as well, Blake. Before we get you out here, man, as we do every single week, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, AYS Sports. You can find us there, Ruffino and Joe show, coming up on 30K subs. Just do us a favor and hit that sub button if you don't mind. And wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe there too. We greatly appreciate it.
Blake Ruffino, we appreciate it, man. We'll get you on next week during the bye week, and God knows what we'll be talking about this time next week.
Oh, I feel very confident that we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Appreciate the time, brother.
Thanks, man.